Hey, so I'm a little embarrassed. Yesterday I forgot the word Lucifer. That's pretty embarrassing. Question number four, is that right? Question number four, incoming in nine, eight, I'm just kidding. Three, two, one. Does prayer? Ooh, this is a good one. Does prayer actually do anything? Yes, I think prayer does. I think prayer has an effect on the prayer and the one to whom the prayer is offered. I was just having this conversation here in my home a few days ago. C.S. Lewis is often quoted as saying, I don't pray because it changes God, I pray because it changes me. I do think that prayer has a positive effect on us. It maybe properly orients us to the things we want or need in this world. It properly orients us to whomever it is we're praying. In my case, when I pray, I believe that I am praying to God, the God of the universe. And I believe that when I do that, I am different after I've prayed them before. Probably in the same way that a stone is different after water passes over it. By that I mean to say it's not like immediate, but in about 1,000,000 years, I'll be smoother. I think it is slowly and, but also assuredly, that prayer helps us, I think, to be more humble. I think in a weird way, if you take prayer seriously, even if you're always just asking for things for yourself, I think prayer can serve the purpose of actually expanding us from the inside out. Obviously, if you pray and make petition for things outside of yourself, it happens even faster. So yeah, I think that happens. I also think though, and I'm curious if this is part of the question, I think prayer is effective insofar as I do believe God answers prayer, how we say it. I believe there are times when things are one way and a person prays and things are then a different. Now, could it be that it was going to happen anyway? Sure. I don't know. But I do think prayer is efficacious. I will say though, and this goes to the point of the sort of like American Christianity has become so transactional. But I don't think we should pray because something is going to happen. I think actually the reason to pray is actually simpler in that I think it's pretty clear Jesus told us we should. Paul seems to indicate that prayer is a good idea. And so it's strange, isn't it? We've been invited, we've been, some might say, commanded to commune with God in conversation or by opening our heart, by sharing our thoughts. And so I think that's why we should. And I think what happens, I think, here's maybe what I want to say. We have become obsessed with the idea that if we ask for something, God might do it for us or give it to us, when in fact I think the greatest gift of prayer is that actually when we pray, in some sense, more of God is given to us. We become more like who we were always meant to be, even if the answer to the prayer, the thing we ask for, is no. God, can I have a Lamborghini? No. Cool. Thanks for the chat, though. You know what I mean to say? These questions are interesting because I think what's interesting about these questions, as I think about them, is they in some sense serve as an indictment of what has happened to Christianity in America. I'm not sure if that was the goal of the questions. You'd have to ask the question writer. That person is not me. Is that person Lucifer? I'm just kidding. He doesn't have my email address. I said, Lucifer, lose it. It was one date. So I think that's what comes to mind. So let me be really practical. When my kids were small and they got sick, I asked God to make them better, for example. Very practical. Did they get better? Sure. Sometimes it was after the course of antibiotics that they were prescribed. It was rarely like in the moment. It was rarely kind of this special thing that, like an instance of healing, I guess, is the simplest way to say it. When my kids, who are no longer small, don't feel well now, I still pray for them. Here's where it gets interesting. A lot of you out there would be like, well, do you believe when you pray that God will do something? Sure. Do I believe that he or she should? I don't know about that one. But yes, prayer works. Here's a better way to answer that. Prayer works, but depends on what job you expect prayer to do. Ooh, I should have led with that. Man, that'd have been good. But I didn't, so we'll just leave it alone. But prayer does work, but it may not do the work you want it to do. That was even better. This is getting better. I'm going to try one more time. I'm just kidding. Yes, prayer works, but it doesn't always do what you want it to do. But it will always do something. Oh my gosh, that's good. That could be a t-shirt. Could it be a t-shirt? Prayer, prayer works. No, it's not a t-shirt. But I think it's reasonable to think of it that way. And then I recognize too, there are moments when Jesus makes crazy promises about prayer. If you say to this mountain, be moved, and it will be, like, what? I have never yet made a mountain move. Although I'll also say I've never felt the unction, if you will, to tell a mountain to move. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe there'll come a day when it's really important that a mountain move like a little bit to the right, and I'll just know it's God, and I'll be like, God, move that mountain, and God will be like, moved. So I think you should pray. I do. Not because it'll make you rich or healthy or taller. Not because it'll get you a wife or a lover or a partner. But because it's hard to experience God or whatever God is for you. It's hard to, I can't imagine experiencing whatever you understand God to be in conversation and not coming away different. And that's kind of cool, yeah? And maybe one day, when you or I ask for a Lamborghini, God will say, sure, what color? Probably not.